Why won't you date? His boss asked. A single dad's answer broke her heart. The city lights twinkled like scattered diamonds against the darkening sky as Marcus Chen stood in his boss's corner office, the question hanging in the air. Between them like an uncomfortable truth neither wanted to acknowledge. Why won't you date? Elena Ramirez asked again, her perfectly manicured fingers drumming against her mahogany desk. As the CEO of Quantum Technologies, she was known for her directness. But tonight there was something softer in her eyes, something that made Marcus's chest tighten. Marcus shifted his weight, his blue sweater suddenly feeling too warm. It's complicated, Elena. Complicated, she repeated, rising from her chair and walking toward the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the Manhattan skyline. You've been with this company for 3 years, Marcus. In that time, I've watched every woman in this building try to catch your attention. Last month, Sarah from marketing literally asked you out in front of the entire team, and you smiled politely and changed the subject. She turned to face him, her expression unreadable. So I'm asking again, why won't you date? The truth sat heavy in Marcus's throat. At 34, he knew he should have a different answer, a simpler one. But life had carved complications into his heart like grooves in old wood. Can I show you something? He asked quietly. Elena nodded, curiosity flickering across her features. Marcus pulled out his phone, his fingers trembling slightly as he navigated to his photo gallery. He turned the screen toward her, showing a picture of a 7-year-old girl with pigtails and his same green eyes, grinning toothlessly at the camera while holding a trophy. This is Lily, he said softly. She won first place in her school's science fair last month. Built a model of the solar system that actually rotated using a motor she assembled herself. Elena's expression softened immediately. She's beautiful. You've never mentioned... I know, Marcus interrupted gently. I don't talk about her at work because... He paused, searching for the right words. Because the moment I do, everything changes. People start looking at me differently. The single dad, the guy with baggage, the complicated one. Elena moved closer, her heels clicking softly against the hardwood floor. Where's her mother? Marcus's jaw tightened. This was always the hardest part. 4 years ago, my wife Rachel was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She fought for 11 months. Lily was only 3 when we lost her. The office fell silent except for the distant hum of the city below. Elena's hand moved to her mouth, her eyes glistening. I'm so sorry, she whispered. Marcus nodded, swallowing the familiar ache. Every morning I wake Lily up at 6. I make her breakfast, usually burnt toast because I'm terrible at cooking. But she never complains. I braid her hair, though I'm still learning and it's never quite right. I pack her lunch, drive her to school, work a full day, pick her up from after-school care, help with homework, make dinner, give her a bath, read her a story and tuck her into bed. Then I collapse and do it all again the next day. He looked directly into Elena's eyes. So when you ask why I won't date, it's not because I don't want to. God, there are nights when the loneliness feels like it's crushing me. But dating means disrupting Lily's life. It means bringing strangers into our carefully constructed routine. It means risking her heart again, teaching her to trust someone who might leave. His voice cracked slightly. I can't do that to her. Not after what she's already lost. Elena was quiet for a long moment, processing everything. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. What if it wasn't a stranger? Marcus's heart skipped a beat. Elena. I'm not asking you out, she said quickly, though her cheeks flushed slightly. I'm just saying, what if it was someone who already knows you? Someone who sees how you stay late on Fridays to finish work so you can have Saturdays completely free for Lily? Someone who's noticed that every year on March 15th, you take a personal day and come back with red eyes? That's Rachel's birthday, Marcus said automatically, then caught himself. How do you... I notice things, Elena said softly. I notice that you keep a Princess Jasmine Band-Aid in your desk drawer, that you decline every business trip that would keep you away overnight. that you have Lily's artwork as your computer wallpaper, even though you change it every week because she makes so many new pictures. She stepped closer. I notice you, Marcus. All of you, including the parts you try to hide. Marcus felt something crack open in his chest, a door he'd kept locked. For so long he'd almost forgotten it was there. Why are you telling me this? Because, Elena said, her professional facade completely gone now, replaced by something raw and vulnerable. I've been in love with you for over a year, and I've been terrified to say anything because I thought you just weren't interested in dating. But now I know the truth, and I need you to know something too. She moved to her desk and pulled out a framed photograph Marcus had never noticed before, hidden in her drawer. It showed a younger Elena with a little boy, maybe 5 years old. His name was Daniel, she said quietly. My nephew. My sister died in a car accident 8 years ago, and I raised him for 2 years before his father, who'd been out of the picture, suddenly came back and took him to Seattle. I haven't seen him since. Tears rolled down her cheeks. So when you talk about loving a child so much it hurts, about building your entire life around protecting their heart, about being so tired you can barely stand, but doing it anyway because that's what love means, I understand. I understand completely. Marcus felt his own eyes burning. Elena, I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it, she said. Not about us necessarily, just think about the possibility that there might be someone out there who doesn't see Lily as baggage. Someone who sees her as a gift. Someone who would love the chance to braid her hair on the mornings when you have early meetings. Who would celebrate her science fair victories. Who would honor Rachel's memory instead of competing with it. The city lights blurred as Marcus blinked back tears. It scares me, he admitted, opening that door again. It should, Elena said gently. Love is terrifying. But Marcus, you're not protecting Lily by keeping yourself isolated. You're teaching her that love means sacrifice and loneliness. Is that really the lesson you want her to learn? The words hit Marcus like a physical blow because he'd never thought about it that way. What was he teaching Lily by shutting himself off from the possibility of happiness? That love was a finite resource? That her mother's death meant the end of joy? I need time, he said finally. To think, to talk to Lily. Elena nodded, wiping her eyes. Of course, and Marcus, whatever you decide, this conversation doesn't change anything between us professionally. You're still the best senior engineer this company has ever had. And I still trust you completely. Marcus managed a small smile. Thank you for understanding, and for being honest with me. As he turned to leave, Elena called out one more time. Marcus, for what it's worth, I think Rachel would want you to be happy, and I think Lily would love to see her dad smile the way he used to. That night, after Lily was tucked into bed, Marcus sat in his living room with a cup of cold coffee, staring at the picture on his mantel, his wedding photo, Rachel's luminous smile frozen in time. Next to it was a more recent picture of him and Lily at the park, both of them laughing as they fed ducks. I don't know what to do, he whispered to Rachel's image. I don't know if I'm ready. But as he sat there in the quiet apartment, he realized something. The question wasn't whether he was ready. The question was whether he was brave enough to try. Brave enough to honor Rachel's memory by actually living, not just surviving. Brave enough to show Lily that hearts can break and still learn to beat again. The next morning, as he braided Lily's hair, still crooked, but getting better, she looked up at him in the mirror. Daddy, you're smiling different today. Different how, baby? Like the sun is coming up inside you. Marcus felt tears prick his eyes. Maybe it is, sweetheart. Maybe it is. And as he drove her to school that morning, watching her wave enthusiastically from the drop-off line, Marcus made a decision. He pulled out his phone and typed a message to Elena. Coffee, I'd like to talk more. And maybe, I'd like Lily to meet you. No pressure, no expectations. Just coffee and conversation. The reply came almost immediately. I'd love that. Should I bring my nephew's old science kit? I have a feeling Lily and I might get along. Marcus smiled, really smiled, for the first time in years. It wasn't a betrayal of Rachel's memory. It was honoring the life she'd given him. the daughter they'd created together, and the future that still stretched ahead, full of possibility. Love, he realized, wasn't finite. It expanded, evolved, found new forms while keeping the old ones sacred, and maybe, just maybe, his heart was big enough for all of it. The past, the present, and whatever the future might hold. As the city morning light caught the diamond in his rearview mirror, his wedding ring, still on his finger, Marcus whispered, "Thank you, Rachel. For everything. For Lily. For teaching me what love means. And for loving me enough to want me to find it again." The road ahead was uncertain, complicated, and a little scary. But for the first time in 4 years, Marcus Chen was ready to find out where it might lead.